Hello, dear listeners. Welcome back to our news channel. Students, today we are going to talk about something you can't see around you, but it's actually in your phones, laptops, and even fighter jets and MRI machines. Yes, we are diving deep into a topic that might sound a little technical, but trust me, it's full of mystery, power struggles, and even international drama. So today's big question in front of us is why did China block exports of rare earth elements? Okay, so and also we are going to talk about why does the whole world from the US to India care so much about it. Also, in the next part of the episode, we'll share some news about a major global figure who passed away recently, okay, and what he meant to the world. All right, students, so grab your headphones and let's begin our journey. First, let's talk about this article. Imagine you are holding a smartphone, and inside that little device, there are magnets, tiny motors, and parts that store data. Some of those parts are made using special elements with a very cool name like neodymium, samarium. So it sounds a little bit like Harry Potter spells, right? Now, these are what scientists call rare earth elements. Okay, rare earth elements, or simply REEs. There are 17 of them in total, and even though they are called rare, they're not actually super scarce. They exist all over the world in countries like India, China, Australia, even North Korea. But here's the twist, it's actually really hard and expensive to extract them, and even harder to purify and make them usable. Okay, so think of it like finding gold mixed in tons of mud. Now, we know that the gold is there, but separating it as a long, uh, you know, it's quite a difficult process. So, in short, REEs or REEs are 17 special elements, as you can see here in the periodic table. So, these are the rare earth elements, and they are used where? They're used in electronics, medical machines, wind turbines, missiles, and even electric cars. So they are not rare in nature, but they are rare to extract and refine. उसको extract और refine करने में difficulty होती है, right? तो ये तो हो गया rare earth elements की बात. अब हम बात करते हैं चाइना की. See, over the last 2 decades, China became the king of refining rare earths. It China has set up factories, invested heavily, and trained a skilled workforce. Okay, so today almost all heavy rare earth elements used around the world are processed in China. तो जितने भी है ना अर्थ एलिमेंट प्रोसेस किए जाते हैं वो चाइना में करते हैं. ओके, तो जैसे मैंने आपको बताया, ऑल्दो दीज एलिमेंट्स आर नॉट रेयर बट दे आर रेयर टू एक्सट्रैक्ट एंड रिफाइन. तो जो एक्सट्रैक्टिंग और रिफाइन प्रोसेस है वो काफी डिफिकल्ट है, वो एक्सपेंसिव है, और चाइना ने उसमें इन्वेस्टमेंट किया है, चाइना ने फैक्ट्री स्टैब्लिश करी है, चाइना ने स्किल वर्कफोर्स किया है, ट्रेनिंग दी है. So this means that if countries like US, Japan, or even India want rare earths in a usable form, they often have to buy it from China. So you can guess what happens when China decides to stay. Wait, we are not exporting these elements without restrictions anymore. Yes, it shakes up the whole world. And that's exactly what happened recently. In the middle of an ongoing trade war between China and US, China placed restrictions on exporting rare earths like uh, dysprosium, okay, scandium, yttrium, So while it's not a full ban, it creates delays. And refiners now need special government permits, which means other countries might have to wait even months, weeks for their supplies. Okay? So, why did China do this? See, one word that is coming to my mind is leverage. Okay, in international relations, countries sometimes use economic power as a tool to pressure other countries, and this is called economic statecraft. Okay, this is called economic statecraft. All right, तो ये चाइना कर रहा है. China knows that rare earths are essential, and uh, if China is going to restrict exports, it can slow down industries in other countries. It can gain bargaining power in trade deals, and also remind the world that it controls very critical supply chains. So remember, this is happening during a time of tensions between US and China over tech, trade, and even security matters. So, by using rare earths as a bargaining chip, China is actually playing a smart, although risky, global game. Okay, now let's bring the spotlight to India. Okay, why? You might wonder, does this move affect us? Well, not immediately. That's because India doesn't import a lot of rare earths. Okay, we have some domestic capacity through government company called Indian Rare Earths Limited. Okay, so we have a government company and it's called Indian Rare Earths, right? Indian Rare Earths Limited. For example, we extract what? Monazite from beach sand in Kerala, and that's a source of some light rare earths. And in 2023-2024, we only imported around 2,270 tons of REEs, which is not a huge number. But here's the catch: India is actually trying to become a global player in electronics, defense, and even semiconductor manufacturing. So, all of these need REEs. And if supply chains are disrupted, prices will definitely go up, delays will happen, and projects will suffer. Okay. So, while we are okay for now, India is aware that we need to build long term capacity. That means what? That we need to extract more REEs locally. Local में extraction होना चाहिए. We need to invest in cleaner refining technologies and also work with friendly countries to import what we can't produce. So this is exactly why the government launched National Critical Mineral Mission. Okay? So NCMM is like a treasure hunt, but it's just more scientific. So India has identified certain minerals as critical because they are important for what? They're important for green energy, defense हो गया, high tech manufacturing हो गया, national security हो गया. Okay? तो गोल क्या है? गोल वही है कि we want to reduce dependence on imports and create a reliable supply for future industries. Okay, so that's a smart planning, don't you think? Right? And other countries are also taking this seriously. Japan, for example, faced a rare earth crisis in 2010. So, when China stopped exports during a political conflict. So, since then, Japan has built stockpiles, it has also diversified its imports and developed recycling systems. Okay. So, the world is learning that natural resources can be used as weapon in trade wars. ओके ये ट्रेड वॉर्स में एज अ नेचुरल वेपन यूज किया जा सकता है नेचुरल रिसोर्सेज को एज अ वेपन यूज किया जा सकता है सेकेंडली सप्लाई चेन इंडिपेंडेंस इज अ मैटर ऑफ व्हाट नेशनल सिक्योरिटी Okay, so that's all for today, students. Before we wrap up today's episode, let's take a moment to reflect on an important leader who passed away recently. So, Pope Francis, he died at the age of 88, just one day after Easter, following a long illness. So, Pope Francis was the leader of nearly 1.4 billion Catholics, and he became Pope in 2013. And he was known for being humble, cheerful, and deeply reform minded. Okay, so actually, he was the first ever Pope from the Americas and the first Jesuit Pope, too. He spoke about the environment, poverty, and compassion. And his death marks the end of a very powerful chapter in the church's history. So, leaders across the world have paid tribute to him. Okay, we'll talk about more, about his legacy in our next episode. All right, so that's all for today. We discovered how something as tiny as metal element can become a center of global power struggle. And we also saw how countries like China and US, Japan are trying to balance progress and security. See, that's the magic of news. It connects dots across science, politics, economics, and everyday life. Okay, so if you like this episode, don't forget to share it with your friends or teachers and send us your questions. Okay, so until next time, stay curious, stay kind, and keep learning. Bye bye.